What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. I'm here to give you my official prediction for this upcoming WBA Super Featherweight Championship match, Takashi Uchiyama versus Juan Salgado. This matchup takes place next Monday in Tokyo, Japan, and it's putting together the number 2 contender, Takashi Uchiyama, and the champion, Juan Salgado. A little about this matchup. I'm a little surprised nobody's talking about this matchup. But then again, these are fighters who haven't really fought, in Australia, Europe, or America. Both of them have never fought in America, and I doubt Europe. So, I kind of understand why this fight's kind of kept on the underground. On top of that, Uchiyama, has only fought 13 bouts in his career. So I question whether or not he's ready for this matchup. And and I could tell by the fights that I've seen with him that skill wise he's not on the same level, but he has the heart. He has the heart to stay in this matchup and possibly get the win. But anyway, other than that, Juan Salgado, everybody or those who follow boxing know about his upset of Jorge Linares. A lot of people were counting him out, because Linares was one of the top stars coming out. I believe he's with Golden Boy Promotions. One of the top stars. A lot of people were considering him, possibly the future of boxing, or the future of the super featherweight division, along with Robert Guerrero. When he lost in one round to Salgado, I believe it was a left hand that knocked him out, or knocked him down first, and he got up, and then the fight was stopped after a few more seconds. But only in a matter of seconds did Salgado defeat Linares, and Linares was considered a top up and coming fighter. So it was a good victory for him, and a surprising victory for Salgado as well. But in this matchup, Salgado actually he has a good good tall stance. He's good on his feet, very mobile, very active. Good sharp, crisp left jab. What he wants to do is he actually wants to he actually in this matchup could counter and do well. But I think that in this matchup against Uchiyama, he wants activity. He wants to put some combinations together. He wants to keep him at distance with his left jab. He wants to constantly move around, because Uchiyama's a fighter that who does well, and his biggest advantage is when a fighter isn't mobile. When the fighter doesn't plan his feet, when a fighter constantly moves, he's that type of fighter that has trouble with those kind of fighters. Even though he's only had 13 fights, I haven't seen him face an actual boxer yet. So he doesn't want to provide a target for Uchiyama. He wants to move around the ring. He wants to use his left jab. He wants to put together combinations. He wants, because what I like about Salgado is, in the fights I've seen with him, he puts together his combinations very well. And after he puts together his combinations, he moves away. Similar to Robert Guerrero. He isn't the type of fighter that sits there and admires his work. He sits, he throws his shots, he moves, throws some more shots. Sometimes, the left jab is there, and sometimes his left jab sets up his right hand, or sometimes it sets up the left cross. So, what he wants to do, he does want to keep his distance from Uchiyama. He wants to move around. He wants to circle. He wants, just doesn't want to provide, that target that Uchiyama wants, because Uchiyama is the type of fighter that comes forward, and likes to. And actually, from what I've seen of him, he likes to trade as well. So Salgado doesn't want to stand there and trade, especially with the fight being in Uchiyama's home country, Japan. because the background story of this fight is that the promoter was, I think he was upset with a money situation, and I think something like he wants the championship in Japan or something like that. Is a story I read. I don't know whether it's true or not, but he doesn't want an exchange, in against Uchiyama, because the fight is in Japan. Japan does have some fair judging, but at the same time, I think there's robberies in every country, but the only robbery that I can really remember in Japan is Jose Navarro, like in 2005 or 2006. So he wants to stay away from Uchiyama as much as possible. And I think that's the way to clearly win the fight, is staying away from him. I think that's his way of winning, convincingly beating him. Staying away, putting together good combinations, not giving Uchiyama a chance to work. And for Uchiyama to win the matchup, I think, Salgado, he actually when he takes a step back, he puts his hands down, which could actually be a bit deadly in a matchup like this. Salgado, he tends to put his hands down. Sometimes with Salgado, there's kind of a little opening in the middle of his guard, and on top of that, with Salgado, he doesn't do well when he goes back. For Uchiyama to win the matchup, he actually needs to jab his way in. See, my problem with Uchiyama is when he throws the jab, he kind of just pushes it out there. He wants a sharp jab in this matchup. He wants the jab to be very sharp. He wants the jab to be automatic. And after he throws the jab, he needs to follow it up with something. Especially against a fighter who likes to fight with the activity level of a Juan Salgado. He wants to jab his way to the inside and go to the body. Go to the body, or jab and follow it with a hard shot, or even counter in this matchup, because I've seen Uchiyama do some okay countering, and I like how he throws his right cross as well. So in this matchup, I think that Uchiyama really needs to throw the left jab, and then after throwing the left jab, follow it up with something else. Following it up by going to maybe the inside, or follow it up with the right cross, or the overhand right, because sometimes Salgado's guard is a bit low. So the overhand right is another good weapon for Uchiyama, and trying his best to make Salgado take a back step. So anyway, on to my thoughts on the matchup. With Uchiyama only having 13 fights, I'm gonna lean towards Juan Salgado in this matchup by maybe a 10th round knockout. I'd say maybe 10 round knockout. Because I think because the activity level, and Uchiyama he is the type of fighter to get stronger in in the later rounds, but at the same time, Salgado gets stronger in later rounds as well. So Salgado, I think he's gonna land clean, effective shots. I think he has the power to hurt Uchiyama. And on top of that, I think his experience level is much better than Uchiyama. So I'm gonna go with Salgado in this matchup. Salgado, I think, has the power, experience, and the boxing ability to win this matchup. And win it, and at least win it fair. But at the same time, there's the background story of the matchup, so we'll never know. But he does. He could get the decision. He could pull it off if he takes it convincingly. But I do think that Salgado has something to prove. Especially with that upset, of Jorge Linares. But anyway, I actually gotta go now. But that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.